You ever fish all day with baits like chicken livers only to reel in empty hooks and absolutely catch zero catfish? Despite all that glorious YouTube advice, but after decades of fishing with the pros and writing a book about how to simplify fishing, I found the one easy fix to finally turn the worst catfish bait into an absolute catfish magnet. So in this video, I'll show you why the typical chicken liver is costing you a ton of fish, what the easy fix is, and the step-by-step process to use to catch more catfish right now. I got a bee on me. Ah. Oh my gosh. So here's the first thing you need to know about using chicken liver for catfish bait. It's absolutely a nightmare bait that'll cost you tons of fish. Imagine trying to fish with a blade of grass. No matter how carefully you hook it, it's gone the second you cast or the second it hits the water, and that is chicken liver. It falls off the hook just so easily. Even if you do manage to cast it out and get it to the bottom for a catfish, if a fish swims by and farts near the bait, it's gonna fall off your hook and you're gonna be left fishing with empty hooks and catching absolutely no fish. And it gets worse. It's an absolute nasty bait. It's messy. It attracts every biting bug in the state that you might be living in. It gunks up all your gear, and the scent washes out within minutes, not making it very appealing for the fish that you're after. And trust me, you do not want to be handling this stuff and rub your eyes or eat a sandwich, because you can very easily get something like C. diff or salmonella, and that is just a miserable experience. I'm going to save you all the details of what that does to your stomach and your butt, but trust me, it's terrible. Ask me how I know. So what we're gonna do here, I'm gonna take a piece of chicken liver straight from the tub right here. I'm gonna add it to the tank, and I'm gonna show you exactly how long this kinda sends out a scent into the water. We're gonna be able to see it under the water here. There we go, gotta dump it straight in here. Here's our chicken liver. And there you go, so you can see there is scent and stuff coming off of there, no doubt. But take a look, not too much. And look at that, it's already starting to settle. There's nothing really permeating off of that bait. There you go. Now, in a matter of minutes, these baits just get washed out, especially if you're fishing in a river where you have moving current. The water running over that thing will absolutely wash the bait out. And you can see the rest of that tank is pretty clean. And there you go. So that's just a soggy, waterlogged chicken liver now, just laying on the bottom of the tank. The good news is that there's a super simple fix to this that adds scent into your bait that lasts for hours, makes it tough so catfish can absolutely not knock it off the hook, and it's far safer to handle, especially if you're fishing with kids and you don't want to get them sick. So here's my trick. I turn chicken livers into catfish beef jerky using these two guys right here, ProCure UV Glow and ProCure Catfish Magic, just specifically for chicken livers. These are my two favorites. I use both. Absolutely phenomenal. I'll leave them in a link below in case you want to try them out. So there's an easy 3-step process to make your chicken livers impossible for catfish to knock off the hook, and it adds so much scent to your bait, you'll literally think that you're shark fishing with so much chum and scent in the water just from one piece of chicken liver, and I call it CDS. Coat, dry, store. So step 1 is the coating process. All right, and so the first step of your coating process is simply to get a Ziploc bag. And what you want to do is you want to take your ProCure powder right here, and you just want to cover the inside of the bag with the powder. And what this does is it prevents the chicken livers from kind of sticking to the sides of the bag. So you just want to add some powder in there, get a good covering, because what will happen is that juice, that chicken liver gunk, will kind of accumulate in the corners here, and it won't dry out as much as you want when you're ready to take them out and dry them on the rack. There you go, that's step 1. Okay, step 2 here is, look at all that blood and nastiness and gunk. What you want to do is you want to drain as much of this out of there as you possibly can. Look at all that liquid in there. And this is what gets all over your boat or the dock or the kayak, and it attracts just a ton of bugs. You see that right there? Oh, just nasty. So there you go. So next step is you want to layer this in that bottom layer. There's bugs swarming all over it already. Nasty. All right, so now your next step here is going to be to just layer that chicken liver into that bottom layer of ProCure powder. Now what I like to do is I like to take like half of the chicken container and dump it in on the bottom there and mix it all up. All right, so you got like your first layer more or less looks like this right here. And now we're just gonna add a little bit more Procure to the base. So you're gonna layer it. So you're gonna put some chicken liver in the bottom here, and then you're gonna layer it with some Procure and then more chicken liver. Okay, so more UV glow. Again, you can't use enough of this stuff. So just shake it on in there, and you're gonna layer that middle layer right there. So it's gonna look, if you're looking at the bag, it's gonna look something like that. So you can see that bottom layer, what that looks like, and then that top layer, that's just gonna sit on there for the next round of chicken livers to go in right there. And there you go. So that's what it's gonna look like. And here you go. So now your next layer of chicken liver is going on top. All gunky and nasty, just like that. Go, then of course, gonna add more UV glow. And I'm not too shy with this stuff. I mean, this is not all that expensive. I think it's like 10 bucks or 15 bucks. And this catfish bait will literally last you 6 months when it dries out. So there you go again. Really what the goal is to make sure that Procure powder is all over that chicken liver so that when it comes time to lay it out, every bit of that chicken liver has absorbed some kind of that Procure. And of course, when we lay it out on the drying rack, as you're gonna see here in a minute, we're gonna add a little bit more Procure to make sure that drying process really occurs the way we want it to. But that is really how it should look. Look at that beautiful purple glow right there. Now, one piece of advice here when you're done bagging this is don't let this sit out in the sun. What you want to do is you want to take this and let that Procure soak into the meat, like inside the house, the shed, somewhere where there's room temperature, because if it just sits here like this, the sun will heat this up in the bag and you get a lot of condensation in the bag. And you want to keep water off of this stuff as much as possible. And again, I'm going to let this sit for about 20 minutes or a half hour so that all that Procure, all that chicken liver absorbs that Procure just like it did in my hands. And as we're doing that, this is a perfect time to get into the drying process. Now, you do not have to overcomplicate this drying process, okay? All you need is like some kind of netting, some kind of mesh where any liquid could drip through this. Kind of like, think about like you're grilling a hot dog or something. Now, really, the only thing you need right here is just an area where air can hit it from the top and air can hit it from underneath as well. And that will really help out with the drying process. Okay, now for the drying process here, of course, you just want to lay out your chicken livers, which have been soaking nice and beautifully in all that Procure right there. And so now the trick here is scrape yourself a good hunk of chicken liver there, all right? I'm just gonna lay them out. Now, the question I get very often is, can you do this in the winter time? The answer to that is absolutely yes. It does not matter what time of year this is to do this. Right now I'm filming this, it's fall, as you can see, it's about 40 degrees. It's not a very warm day. Now, the thing to keep in mind is, if you are doing this in the winter time, as I am doing, you just gotta give it a little bit more time to dry out. So in the winter time, maybe you're looking at 3 or 4 days. If you have sunny weather, make sure to check the weather, because you don't want to be doing this and then it rains all over your chicken livers. Remember, you want to dry these things out the best you can. So for the summertime, basically in an afternoon on a bright sunny day, you're good. Bright sunny days are going to be best. In the winter or the summer, that sun is going to bake on these things and really dry them out just like you want to. Cloudier days, you can still dry them out. It's just going to take longer. So now what you want to do is you just want to add some more Procure powder on the chicken livers. What you want to do is just cover them up. You can see that old Procure powder that's soaked into the meat and that new Procure powder, which is that dark purple stuff. And you just want to cover them just like that. Don't be so shy with your Procure. This is really how you're going to dry all of this out really good. Here you go. Just want to show you some. I'm trying to wash this off my hands right here and take a look. That's what happens with the Procure. You just cannot get it out of the meat. My hands are going to be purple here for days because of this Procure liquid. And yeah, that's the beauty of the Procure. Even after handling it, I just cannot get it out of your skin, and you won't be able to get it out of your chicken liver, and the catfish won't be able to knock it off your hook. So best of both worlds. And all right, so it's been about 3 days, and it's cold. It's been cold. I think the warmest day I had was 50 or 55. So in about 3 days, these do start drying out just like that. And you can see some of these grill marks right there. It literally looks like you just took them off the grill. That's what that Procure does to these things. Now look at that consistency, and that Procure really baked in there nice. But look at that consistency to what it was before. This is literal beef jerky, and that's what makes this just so good and so awesome for catfishing. It's like that stuff is not coming off the hook anytime soon. And all right, so as stated previously, okay, that right there, it's all just sitting there. It's not really doing much. You can see there's nothing coming out of that piece of bait right there, that chicken liver right there. That's just not going to catch all that much fish. Now, this is a not fully baked Procure chicken liver right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to dump this in here, and I'm going to show you the difference between having the Procure on your chicken liver and not. Okay, and here it goes. Now look at that. Look at the powder. Look at it spreading in the tank. That is just ridiculous. Now keep in mind, when that thing is fully dried out, look at that, is crazy how much scent is in there. Now when this thing is fully dried out, that Procure dives deep, gets deep into the meat itself. So it's all throughout the chicken liver. That one's not fully baked yet, and that will just be streaming scent non-stop. Again, just like I said before, pretty much like you're fishing for sharks. And look at these streaks of Procure shooting up the water column there. You could see it. There's a little bit of a glare there, but you could see it in the middle of the water column, just streaking up. Look at that, just things floating off. Look at the bottom there, just filled with Procure. Look at, even the Procure migrated all the way over into that other piece of chicken liver, and it's actually turning that piece of chicken liver even a little bit purple. So this is just a phenomenal way to keep attracting fish hour after hour, and again, they won't be able to knock it off. And just look at the difference between the two baits, between Procure and non-Procure. And take a look at that, fish lot. So that's the difference between Procure and non-Procure. Take a look, it's literally turning it purple. You could see it spreading throughout the tank, and it's gonna keep doing that for hours and hours and hours. Now, especially if you have a current, like you're fishing in a river system, that is gonna continually put out scent, and the current is gonna take it down current. And those fish are going to be able to pick up on that scent and hone in on this bait from very, very far away. And that is exactly what you want, the perfect bait right there. Now, these are all great tips to catch a lot more fish, but regardless of the bait or the gear that you're using, if you cannot find the fish, it doesn't matter how magical the bait is, you're just not going to catch anything. So click on this video right here where I show you the easiest and most actionable ways that you could find fish anywhere in any body of water. So go ahead and check it out, fish lots. I'll see you out there on the water.